Hey guys, today I'm gonna talk about what is ReactJS, how it works, and how to create a project with it. So if you're a beginner in front-end development or if you just want to learn this amazing tool, this is gonna be a great video for you. So don't forget, if you like the video, subscribe to the channel and leave a comment down below with suggestions of what do you want to see in the next videos. So first of all, what is ReactJS? So React is actually a JavaScript library used for building highly interactive interfaces. So basically, when we talk about interfaces, we're talking about everything the final user interacts with. It's not only web. With React, we have React Web, where you can create websites. You have React Native, when you can create mobile applications, React TV, React VR, and all of these different options. So what basically React's gonna do is handle what the final user sees, and you're gonna control this. Okay, so we're gonna take a look on what's the difference between creating a React project and using a regular basic front-end project with just HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So let's start. So the first thing you need to do is go to your terminal, and you need to have Node.js installed. So you can just Google it, Node.js, and download it. Okay, my suggestion is always use the long-term support version, and once you've done that, you can come here and type node -- version, and if you see a number here, that's okay. It means that you have Node installed. That's what you need to do before actually going deeper on this video. Another thing that we need to verify is the npm. npm stands for Node Package Manager. So it returned here with a number, which means that I have npm installed. So this is actually the app that we're gonna use to create our React project. So right now I'm just gonna change directories here. So I'm gonna you can just choose where you want to create your application. Here is where I want to create, and I'm gonna be showing you two different ways of creating your React application. First, the most traditional one is with Create React App. So Create React App was created by Facebook, which is actually the company who created React. So this is pretty much the most basic way of creating a React application. You can just go here and type npx create react app my first project. Okay, so this is gonna create a React app named my first project, and then we just have to wait. Okay, so now that this is done, our project is created. We can just give type ls if you're on Linux. You can type dir if you are on Windows, and you can see that we have this new directory here, my first project. So I'm gonna change directory to my first project and type code dot to open VS Code inside this directory. Okay, one thing that is my suggestion, I just told you that you should look for npm version. npm is the default package manager for JavaScript, and it works fine, but the thing is, it's not the fastest one. My suggestion is actually to use Yarn. So you can just come here, look for Yarn, and you need to have npm to install it. So you're gonna install Node.js and npm first, but then you can just type this and install yarn. And then you can come here, yarn version, and if you have a number here, it means that yarn is installed. So instead of typing npx create react app name of the project, you're gonna type yarn create react app. Okay, what's the difference? Basically, yarn is a little bit faster. So if you're having issues with npm, if it's slow for you or anything like that, my suggestion is to try yarn and see if it fits you. Okay, so now that we have this project, let's take a look on what exists here. First thing we have here is node modules. This is a directory where there is all our dependencies. So this is everything React needs to run. Okay, if we take a look here on package.json, this is where our dependencies are listed. So if we come here, we can see that we have some testing library dependencies. We have React, React Done, React Scripts, and Web Vitals. Okay, so these are the dependencies that the Create React app uses. Okay, so what are all of this? What happens is that each one of these dependencies have other dependencies and that's why there is this huge list here. Okay, so inside our source folder, there are actually a bunch of things here, and some of them you can just delete. But first of all, let's run our code. So you can come here and you see scripts, and our script to run our app is start. So we come back to our terminal. You have to be on the project folder, and you're gonna type npm run and the name of the script here, okay, which is start. So npm run start. So this is what React gives us. Okay, so let's take a look on our folder. So first, I'm gonna delete some unnecessary files for us at this moment. So first one is app.test. We're gonna remove it. Logo.svg. This, I think we can remove it also. On index.js, we remove this bottom part. We remove this import here and the CSS. I'm gonna remove both CSS files also. And then here on app.js, I'm gonna remove the CSS import, okay? Also setup tests we can just remove. The base file of our React application is this. So what it's saying here, basically we have our root component, which is where all our page is gonna be rendered, and we're gonna render something. On this case, we're rendering app. So if I go here and I'm gonna delete everything inside the return, I'm gonna say h1 react app. Okay, so inside this return I can just write HTML code. This here I'm gonna be deleting, and we can come back and we can see that it says React app. Why? So we have this component that returns an h1 written React app, and on our index.js we're actually rendering that app. So everything that I write here, test app, it's gonna say test app there. Okay, so that's what happens. So here in the public folder, we're actually gonna delete this, and this, and this. Okay, so the thing is, if you're familiar with front-end development, at least the basics, you might know that we create HTML, CSS files, and we render those files. Here, we only have this index.js file, okay? So what happens is this index.html file is where we're gonna render all our application. So this root div, inside of this, we're gonna render this, for example, all of other components that we create, everything is gonna be rendered here. So if we come back here and we inspect the page, we can actually go to elements, and you're gonna see that we have that root here, and there is actually our h1 is inside that root. Okay, how is that happening? There is nothing here, and in our final product there is our h1 inside our root. What happens is here we're selecting the root component, the root div from our HTML, and React is actually rendering our app inside that div. So this is all controlled by JavaScript. So all your code is gonna be inside JavaScript files, or TypeScript if you prefer. So you don't write HTML files anymore. You're gonna write everything inside JavaScript, and JavaScript is gonna handle how you create, how you show those files in the end. Okay, so if I go here and I come to configs here, if we come to the configuration, and we can actually select the option to disable JavaScript, and we can reload this, this is gonna be showing. Okay, so it's gonna say you need to enable JavaScript to run this app, because here on the HTML there is this no script tag, which is what you're gonna see if JavaScript is disabled. If you just remove this tag from the file, you're not going to see anything. Okay, because that h1 that we created, it needs JavaScript, because JavaScript is gonna get this from here and actually implement this inside this div. Okay, so this is basically how React works. Everything is gonna be rendered by JavaScript. Everything you're gonna write is inside a JavaScript file. Okay, so this is basically how React works, what is React, and how do we create a project with it. I'm just gonna leave you one more alternative. So instead of actually using this great React app, we can use Vite. Okay, Vite is more recent, is an independent way of doing the same thing, and Vite is actually faster. Okay, so if you're going to create with create React app, that's okay, but Vite is faster. So how do we do it? So if you're using npm, you can create you can type npm create Vite latest, or yarn create Vite. Okay, so let's create a project with Vite. So I'm gonna use yarn for the second one, yarn create Vite, and you don't need to type the name here, because it's gonna ask you for the name of the project once it's installed the dependencies. So let's wait. Okay, so now that I installed the basic dependencies for the project, it's asking me here what's the name of the project. So I'm just gonna type my first project 2. Okay, and here there are some options. We're going to go with React, and here you can choose if you wanna use JavaScript or TypeScript. Me, for my personal projects, and when I can choose, I always choose TypeScript, but just for this tutorial I'm gonna be following with JavaScript. Okay, so now we can see here that in our folder there are 2 projects, and I'm gonna be changing directory to the second one. Okay, so let's take a look. This is a very similar thing from the other project that we had. Okay, the first thing that we want to notice is that we don't have node modules in the second project. Okay, which means that our dependencies are not installed. So the first thing when you create a Vite project is actually installing those dependencies. So if you're using npm, you can run npm install, just npm install, or you can run npm I. Those are be the commands for you to install the dependencies. In this case, as I created our project with Yarn, I'm gonna be typing just Yarn, and it's going to install our dependencies. So this probably won't take as long as the npm. As I told you, Yarn is a little bit faster, and we can see that our node modules folder was actually already created, which means that Yarn is downloading the dependencies here and creating node modules. Okay, so once we have node modules here, we can run our project. I'm gonna just take a look at package.json. We can see that we have some different dependencies. So React, React.DOM, types React, Vite.js, Vite. So this is the libraries that come with a Vite project. And inside our source folder, we have something very similar. So the thing is, we have those files with JSX. JSX is actually a custom type of file just for React, which stands for files where we have HTML being returned inside our JavaScript, which is what we have here. And in our Create React app, we have JS files. So if you just rename those to JSX, it's gonna work the same. Here we have pretty much the same structure. We have main.js, which is our main file, and it's asking for that root, which is in our index.html, and we are actually calling main.jsx file. So if we run here, we can come here, and our script to run on this one is actually dev. If you're using npm, once again, you can type npm run dev. If you're using Yarn, you can just type yarn dev. So it's already opened. You can wait a little bit and it's opened. So this is a project created with Vite. The structure is pretty much the same. You can just delete the CSS files, those assets. Here you can delete these assets, this vite.svg. You can remove imports from CSS. You can clean all of this. We can say h1 hello React. I'm gonna remove this and all of these imports here, and we can see here that it's pretty much what we had before. So whatever I change here, hello, we change to hey, and we're gonna see the difference in our website. So this is the tutorial, guys. I hope you liked. We talked a little bit of what's React, how can we create a project with it, 2 different ways of doing the same thing, and you can just choose whatever is makes more sense to you. So I just hope you liked, and if you did, just leave a like down below, subscribe to my channel, and leave a comment if you want to see something specific that I can make a video of. Okay, thank you guys, and see you next video.